In a moment, you're about to see what it looks like through my eyes when I paint. Be sure to stick around, I'll have much more of this footage at the end of the video. The Quest 3, a promised AR headset, got me excited about the possibilities of using its pass-through tech with painting. Imagine truly seeing through the eyes of the artist, every look, nod, and mark. And what better camera perspective? The intersection of modern tech and oil painting methods of the past always holds interest for me. That's how I justified it anyway. It should be said that the video you are watching looks much better than the screens in the headset. Inside the headset, it's passable, but grainy. Kind of like a phone camera. It does its best to show what's being seen at an appropriate exposure. Which brings up another glaring issue. Obviously, there is a good deal of distortion as the Quest 3 tries to figure out the edges of things and render them. That never goes away. Go pop a Dramamine right now. I presume there's going to be some improvement given time, but right now you can see just how much it moves constantly. That said, it does its best to keep the painting and the area around my brush in focus. You're probably asking, if it's clarity you want, why not get the Meta glasses? It's a fair question. However, I couldn't justify spending over $300 for something with a very limited use. You can't do this with the glasses. Honestly, my curiosity to see just how capable the technology has become was a big draw. That and the floating spatial window for comparing to reference. And also this. Try as the Quest 3 might, and it comes really close, the depth as understood by what is shown is not entirely accurate. When I went to dab a bit of color, I shoved my brush into the paint. Highly delicate work is just not possible. Let's talk color matching. It's so-so. It didn't really differentiate the subtleties my eyes can perceive. Upon taking off the headset at the end, I was startled at what colors I chose to put where. I would never have done so in real life. A couple of other weird things. This could be user error, but shooting horizontally always seemed to be pointing up, as you can see. Maybe it's my head or my poor posture while painting. Vertical video in square format did okay, but horizontally it was difficult. As with any other electronic contraption glued to one's face, when wearing it, I looked like a total dork. And in the end, like all VR headsets, you deal with the red ring of shame when the session is over. Remind me not to go anywhere for an hour. Things I liked. Now for some positives. I've spoken at length about how the technology isn't quite there yet, specifically for this use case. Again, no surprises there. The subtleties are too nuanced for most accessible camera and screen tech. But I did make this painting with it on. And when you think about everything that had to go into making that happen, it's worth a nod. It's super cool to float the reference in space, and it stays there no matter where I walk in the room. Camera setup for this video was so simple and forgiving as compared to my normal 2-camera setup. For the hour and a half that I wore the headset, I was able to get the painting to this level of render. I could have spent more time and improved it more, but I was itching to have my own eyes on the painting. Here's what it looked like after I refined it without the Quest 3. It's quite a difference. The thing I really liked about the Quest 3 was not so much itself, as much as the possibility for what it could mean for the future of instruction. These sorts of devices will only improve, and if the rumors are true, there is a lot of promise from the Apple Vision Pro for this very use case. Speaking of which, can I borrow $3,500? I'll pay you back. Let me know what you think. Would you like to see another full video of me painting with this thing? I'm willing to give it another go. If we get enough likes and comments and subs, I'll post a new full-length video on YouTube. If you want to see the entire video of this thing being made, it's posted on my Patreon. There, I talk about the painting and less about headset stuff. Okay, as promised, here is some uninterrupted video of me painting. I hope you enjoy it. One of my instructors was very much like, you should look at what you're working from more than what you look at what you're working on. And I've always found that sort of interesting, and I'm trying not to turn my head as much to hopefully so there won't be as much vomit-inducing movement. Okay, and this is a great spot right now where everything is like the main shadow. You could call this kind of a two-value breakdown in a way. I know we put in some highlights there, but two-value breakdown, we've got the value of the area that's in the light, the value of the area that's, is darker in the shadow. And really, this is just a great spot to kind of pause and see that the main structures are in place. So, we scoot back a little bit, and, it's really kind of holding together. We scoot back a little more, and you can see that there is a structure there. And, there's a lot more to do, don't worry. But this is a great point to kind of take a look and step back here. So, all right, it's time to move into the area just to the left, the shadow. Really, we can start by putting some bigger planes of the forehead down. I'm going to say that is something in this range. So big, huge planes of the face. Again, working general to specific. And I know what you're thinking right now, and you should be thinking it. I'm certainly thinking it too. It's like, this looks nothing like what I want it to look like right now. That's usually how it goes. We will get there, and the grand reveal when I pull this headset off, I'm gonna be shocked to see what remains. What can I fix? What can I render? What can I just to see just one area? What happens if I render that one area and then kind of call it for the video? So I think I'm going to go with the mouth and kind of just work on this whole area. And this is where and you can imagine this process taking place kind of on in any part. It really depends on how, do you want to watch that long of a video? I don't know. I generally don't. I'd rather be painting. Depth in this thing is definitely off. I'm doing my best. That little, you're like, why do you keep working on that one spot? Okay. I think that's all right. This is kind of how I think about anything I'm doing it. This, like, just looking at the bottom lip, there is a plane that is kind of the top. It's warmer. It's not nearly as dark as I've just made it. And so, I've got to come back and maybe I can even get a little bit of cadmium red on there, and to lighten it some. It's still very, it is warm and red, but we don't want to overdo it. You can see too, keep moving this so that it doesn't create a little white dot in the middle of what I'm doing. This one I want. Looking at kind of every piece, like, so when I'm looking back and forth, a lot of times it's like
this shift right here, this to this, looked just really harsh and drawn a little too far to the right. So I'm going to bring it in, soften it some. Harder to tell what brush is what this way. You know, just mixing a few colors together. It's a little cooler. Follow the shape of lip there. Okay, another thing I'll do, and this will probably then sort of wrap up the video, is, you know, I feel like, you know, that this second pass at the mouth has now sort of established it a little better, a little more naturalistic. That's when, you know, you can take little things like, I've got this little camel hairbrush, just really soft, or this fan brush. These are ways that if you want to buff out, it's not always a solution, you know, but sometimes it's just things need to be softened a little bit. So, you know, sometimes just kind of come in here, just soften it out some.